that's the scene here at this Wanderers ground in Johannesburg. The scene is set for this decider, and there is the trophy. That's innovative, a little bit different. And of course, we won't be thinking too much about trophies at the moment, these two sides. They'll be thinking about pride more than anything else. The South Africans, well, they've made two changes. Gary Kirsten, Herschel Gibbs, Jacques Callis. Andrew Hall is in the side. He's in the side for Mackenzie, Rhodes, Boye, Boucher, Klusner, Pollock, Hayward and Natini. So Nicky Boye comes in as well, and he's in for Callahan, Dave Callahan. So two changes to the South African lineup today. And, of course, from Australia's point of view, they've decided to go with the same team. It'll be interesting to see what the South African batting lineup is, because I understand that Andrew Hall has opened the batting a lot. Mike Proctor's in the commentary box with us. He should know all about these things. Good morning.
Morning, Tony. Morning, viewers. Well, I should know about all these things, but sometimes it can be difficult. I think a lot may depend, Tony, on what Australia score.
Mark Waugh, wonderful record, over 7,000 runs, and caught down the leg side in Cape Town. You saw his reaction, those of you who were watching. He was disappointed with that. He'll be determined to finish this tour on a high note before he goes back to Australia and takes a bit of a breather. So he's got a wonderful record. A lot depends on him. If he scores well, invariably the Australians end up being very competitive, either that or they win the match. Pollock is going to be bowling to him.
Yeah, very similar, Mark Waugh, to Gary Kirsten for South Africa. Whenever Gary Kirsten gets runs, fairly big runs, South Africa, well, 8 times out of 10 win the game. Mark Waugh similar. When he gets biggest runs for Australia, they seem to win most of their matches. Mind you, they've been winning most lately anyway. But it's Sean Pollock to Mark Waugh.
Hang on target and a misfield straight away. That's unlike South Africa. Well, I hope that's not a sign of things to come. In fact, you can almost guarantee it won't be. But very unlike him to misfield straight away. They'll be nice and pumped up there. This is a shot that he loves playing, Mark Waugh. Anything on his legs, he gets away very well. I think the surface is very hard. That probably got to Hall just before he realised it was there. Right off the middle of the bat, right across the square. Gilchrist down the other end. And on strike now, actually. But he is the danger man. Now, if Gilchrist fires, then invariably they end up with a big score. He's been threatening. Didn't make much impact down in Cape Town. The South Africans will want him out of the way quickly. That's wide. That's a wide delivery. Very, very important, Crocky, that Sean Pollock gets the sort of line right, the sort of line that you so often see of Glenn McGrath.
Yeah, Pollock will be disappointed with this, but not that disappointed. You can see lateral movement there. The ball was wide. It hit the seam and kept on going. So it'll give Pollock encouragement, knowing that if he hits the seam, the ball is going to move off that seam.
A little bit of swing there, back in, and quick single. Good response there by Mark Waugh. That's one of the things the Australians do very well. They run between, or certainly have run between the wickets very positively.
Yeah, this is a big game for everyone. You can see both sides pumped up. Pollock, he's charging in. The batters, every single run is vital. I think we're in for some sort of game out of today.
Sean Pollock. Mark Waugh, that one bounced a bit. Surprised Mark Waugh. The bottom hand came off the handle of the bat very quickly.
Yeah, Pollock's fired up. He's really charging in, and that hits the seam. It jags back into him and bounces a bit. So there's just that little bit of life in this pitch. It's going to be a good contest. These two batters against South Africa's opening bowlers.
Looking to get onto the front foot to try and negate the movement that Mike Proctor's been talking about. It will be there all right. Just feeling the surface of that wicket, there's just a little bit of juice in it, and it's overcast today in Johannesburg. The sun came out just for a little while, just before the start of play, but it's disappeared behind the clouds again. Wait there, the call. very sensible call too. Yes, they tend to target the gaps. If the ball's heading for a gap, they'll go. Yes, he's got support all around the country. Herschel Gibbs hovering out there as well. Very good fieldsman. So, for those of you who just joined the telecast, South Africa won the toss. They put the Australians into bat. This is the first over of the match, the deciding match in the series. It's always beaten the outside edge. That's well bowled. Mark Waugh going after that. It's the end of the over. 3 for none. That's well bowled. Bat and pad there is Mark Waugh looking to go forward here. He doesn't want to be trapped on the back foot again. He was out LBW in Durban to won that back a little bit.
That's a close call, that. There was a bit of bat involved. Whether it hit the bat after it hit the pad, I don't know. Don't see too many decisions given it, but that looks as though, well, yeah, probably 50-50, a bit of bat just prior to hitting the pad. Are on song today. They pumped up. They know how important it is.
Steered away on the offside. Mark Waugh be thinking of 2. That's nicely picked up on the boundary. Kirsten does some sterling work down there. In comes his throw. 2 to Mark Waugh. The score 6 for none. Oh, he's beaten the outside edge. That's well bowled. Yes, he had him stretching for that one. That was actually a good length. Get the length right to these guys that want to smash it around, and you get them in 2 minds. Have a look at this. He came half forward and actually beat the outside edge, that one, by quite a long way.
It certainly will cause problems for the batsman.
Oh, straight back down the ground. That's for, well, that's what you might call a bludgeon. He could have been hitting that anywhere from mid-off down to somewhere around about mid-wicket. Oh, straight down the ground. It's in the air. This could be out. This is going to be caught. Yes, got in. That's the end of Gilchrist. That's a big wicket. Kirsten takes the catch. Boy, did he keep his eye on that one. He had to go a long way, Gary Kirsten. Moved around, caught it eventually at around about mid-off. Well, that wicket, that all-important wicket I was talking about, has now fallen. The danger man, Gilchrist, is on his way back to the pavilion.
Lovely delivery, and he's got the outside edge, I think. Yes, he has. Mark Waugh has decided to walk. Bonanza Hayward has bowled beautifully to him. That was a magnificent delivery. A little bit of movement away from the right-hander, and that is a huge breakthrough for South Africa.
What a delivery. That is just what we need. Absolutely no doubt about it.
So, delight for the South Africans. Lovely shape, seam nice and straight, just going away a fraction, faint tickle, and Mark Boucher takes a very, very simple catch.
Yes, apologies to our viewers. We have a little bit of a problem with our link, which is the signal that travels from the ground up into the sky. And so if you could just bear with us, we've got all the technicians working on that.
Swing again, and a lovely shot from Michael Bevan, so he's got off the mark. Bit of a misfield. And it's got to be said, Mackay and Tinney did very well to save the boundary. And Michael Bevan, who's always very quick between the wickets, scoots back for 3 runs. That's a great delivery. Once again, the length is absolutely spot on.
Well, that's the can opener. Just open him up. Pitches on middle and leg. It's gone past the outside edge at a decent pace. Bevan nowhere.
Well, brilliantly in the previous over. Now that one just a little bit leg stump in the form that Damien Martin's in at the moment. He's not going to allow him to get away with that. Aggressive running from Bevan. 2 more runs. Going to go out that one. Well, he was giving that one everything. Damien Martin, he played 1 or 2 of those shots in his 32 ball 50 at Newlands on Friday night. Missing that one. Short and wide. Bevan has got it away. Just a bit of a half stop from Herschel Gibbs. Certainly would have been called a wide, I think, had he not gone after it. But in the end, he identified and thought he could get a boundary. Not to be. So 5 runs from that over. 37 for 2. And Martin, of course, is always fond to get runs on the onside. got a neck, he's gone. So Sean Pollock has picked up another huge wicket for South Africa. Goodness me, you've got Mark Gilchrist and now Damien Martin, three wonderful players. And Pollock has picked up Martin with something was, got to be said, was perhaps a little bit too wide.
Well, just the wicket that South Africa needed now. And Damien Martin, a little bit loose outside off. Just flirted with it. He doesn't get across. And at times, I believe it leads to his downfall. And he's playing well, and he's got his eye and he's hitting the ball. Much better player than up front when the ball's moving around. And South Africans have believed they can get him outside there. It's a big wicket for them. If you circle the strike without playing high-risk cricket, just to keep the runs going, it's the key.
Well, he's got that away through mid-on. That's a very, very good shot from Michael Bevan. And a very important boundary for Australia. 5 runs from the over, but also the wicket of Damien Martin. 42 for 3. No ball called. And a glorious stroke in front of square on the offside for 4. Certainly a loose delivery from Jacques Callis.
Yeah, to Michael Bevan, that's meat and drink, wide of the crease. You see him just overstepping ever so slightly, short, and Michael Bevan puts that away, and that's a 5.
Yes, that's 1 for the no ball and also 4 for the stroke, so 5 runs. Got a neck, and it's gone through. It went very, very quickly indeed. Now, Michael Bevan's one of those guys who doesn't hold back when he thinks he can identify something. And Jacques Callis, who normally has a very good pair of hands, put one down at Newlands, and he's put another one down here at the Wanderers.
Well, this is the great delivery from Makayantini. And that's a regulation second slip catch, I'm afraid. You can't drop those, and people like Michael Bevan will make you pay. Makayantini very disappointed, as will Callis be.
Certainly went like a bullet off the bat.
Yeah, and he looked late on it, didn't he? It'd be interesting to see if he had his hands on his knees while the ball was on his way.
Well, that's normally what he does. Jacques Callis. Very good delivery again from Makayantini. Lovely length and a very impressive first over. Australia 50 for 3. 13 overs gone. 53 Australia. And Jacques Callis to continue. Michael Bevan's got that one away. Gary Kirsten got some work to do. He's not going to get there, and that's a very, very good boundary. First up off Callis. He hasn't found his range yet. And time for a change in the commentary box. It will now be Garth Leroux and Tony Gregg.
Thanks, Mike. Yes, what a miss that could turn out to be. Bevan, deadly dangerous. He's out there at the moment with Steve Waugh, one of the great fighters in world cricket. Well played. He's got it past backward point. Jonty, I think, might have slipped a little bit there. Didn't quite get his hand to that one. We've seen one or two of the players just struggle to grip with their spikes. Just watch the shot again.
Yes, there we go. Places it beautifully. And you're quite right. The ground a little bit moist underfoot.
Bad delivery though, Garth. Short outside off stump. You can't bowl there to decent players. He should have really been able to pick his spot, and he did. Actually, he did well. Oh, did he drop it? Did he squeeze it? Natini puts his hand up to his mouth as if it's gone down. Boucher, surely he hasn't dropped one. Well, now then, this one went flying off the bat. Oh, yes, I think this is going to be a drop catch. Another one down. Oh, yes. That's 2 down. You just cannot do this at this level. They should be caught, and Boucher 9 times out of 10 would have caught it. Short would have been a pretty good one, but it hit the middle of his glove. Well, not quite.
It's like a comedy of errors here. Two of the finest players in world cricket get let off the hook. Chance!
Yes, that's the point. Bevan dropped at second slip. Mark Waugh dropped by the wicketkeeper. And that's the sort of situation, yes, that might have been quite close actually, that's the sort of situation that can create just a little bit of panic in the fieldsmen. Those two now under a little bit more pressure, the second slip fieldsman and the wicketkeeper.
Down the next side, yes, no.
Well, there was a big deflection, a clonky noise, but the umpire says not out. Probably quite right too. We'll come back and have a look. 60 for 3.
Well, it's been all action here today. Nicks galore, people walking. Down the leg side it goes. I'd say it's off the thigh pad. Very good decision under huge pressure from umpire Mitchley. Boucher delighted having held on to something.
It's actually quite interesting to watch Klusner out on the ground in his warm-up. He's still very heavily strapped, that left ankle of his. A lot of support down there. Oh, well bowled. That was pitched just outside leg stump, I think. I think that's probably what happened. Klusner is always very wide on the crease. And the umpire there, I think, certainly the way I read it from up here, probably giving the batsman the benefit of the doubt. Didn't even hit him on the foot, on the knee, but definitely pitched outside leg stump.
Yes, on that occasion, he wasn't as wide as he sometimes gets, but it does seem hard.
Beats the outside edge. Bevan losing the grip on the bat as well. Playing at that one outside off stump. Every now and again, the Australians are playing wild shots. That was actually past the inside edge of the bat.
Because they've just come on. Do we need to take chances?
Bevan will look for 2 here. I think the beans are boiling under everyone's crash helmets and hats out in the centre. These sides are both very pumped up. There's no coming second. There's no draws here. It's first or second. Oh, and what a delivery. Mackay Natini is letting it rip. That one bounced and was quick. 62 for 3. Well, that's into the gap. Running away. Bevan's the man who's the danger now. Will it get there? It won't. That's great fielding. Wonderful fielding on the boundary. Real commitment on the part of the South Africans. Well, something we've seen from both these sides.
Yeah, John D. Rhodes, we've watched him many, many times. But the thing about this Wanderers outfield is it almost gets quicker as it gets towards the fence.
It's just watch this rope too. By the way, that rope there is a new form of rope. It squashes. It's a nylon tube, actually. It's an innovation that the groundsman here has developed. Just watch this. As he goes over it, he squashes it, and it returns back to its original shape. Actually quite fantastic. You see a lot of guys get burnt by the rope. Very easy to join it is. It never frays, and it comes in meters of in 30-meter length. So absolutely wonderful it is. 65 for 3. South Africa slightly in front at the moment. Oh, it's cleaned him up. That stayed down. I've got to say that this is good news from Australia's point of view. It looks to me as if this pitch is going to become more and more inconsistent as this match goes by. Watch this ball.
Yes, there's no doubt that is a little squatter. Bounces before Boucher, and we just spoke about the ball before flying through, so there is inconsistency. It's not a brand new thing at the Wanderers.
Well, Garth, that last ball of last over went whistling through and was taken way above the keeper's head. Into the gap. That's well played by Stephen Waugh. That'll be a relief for him. Oh! Well, then he was holding onto the ball down there, got very close to the rope, probably didn't quite reach it. Good fielding, though.
It's a quick man, Nicky Boyer.
Oh, it's hit the stump down the other end and knocked it out. Middle stump down. However, No one there to put a finger on it, and so a comfortable single.
Whew. Well, it certainly hasn't been a dull morning. This is called playing straight. Doesn't get a whole lot straighter than that, I promise you.
I tell you, if Brett Lee hits that middle stump when he's bowling, it may cartwheel for 50 metres. Nice and loose in the ground there it was. It went tumbling out, didn't it? Oh, well bowled. He's getting a little bit of pace. He's generating a bit of pace. Well, a very tidy over. 4.5 overs, no wicket for 8.
Just leg side. Steve Waugh is such a good work with the ball. Anything towards the pads is going to disappear for 4. It's a very good shot. Got him! What a wonderful delivery! Goodness me, that was from close to the stumps. You haven't seen Lance Klusener do that for a long time. And he's got one right through Michael Bevan and disturbed the furniture. That is absolutely outstanding bowling.
The crowd have gone berserk. Absolutely brilliant stuff. The culmination of some brilliant bowling by Klusener and also to Mackay and team in the other end. They've maintained the pressure, and suddenly the one that comes back into Bevan, bang goes the middle stump. Bales go flying, and that's a well-deserved wicket for the South Africans. Bevan goes for 33. Australia now lose their 4th with a score at 82. Into his 6th over, 1 for 16 thus far.
1 for 11 from Makarantini off 7. That is outstanding. Steve Waugh's had a go at that. He's hit that one beautifully. There was no doubt that he was looking to line up 1 or 2 of these deliveries, and he's got it away for a much-needed boundary for Australia.
Yeah, that's a much-needed boundary, and I must say, for Steve Waugh, that's a bit of a slog. I'll go along with that.
That is a glorious shot from Steve Waugh. Absolutely magnificent through the offside. And Mike, I don't think that was a slog.
No, it certainly wasn't. The pressure certainly hasn't been maintained.
Andrew Hall, of course, is another option that Pollock can introduce. It's a very good shot through extra cover. That's going to go for 4 as well. So that's the 2nd boundary off the over from Callis. You can see that his confidence is very low. That over wasn't particularly quick. And a couple of half volleys. Australia 102 for 4.
Well, if it hadn't been smashed through the covers for 4, it would probably been a wide anyway. Disappointment for Callis. 3 overs, and he's conceded 25 runs. And in the context of the way everyone else has bowled, that is ginormous.
But it's Lance Klusener who continues. That one just a little bit too straight, and Steve Waugh's got that away. Certainly going to pick up 3 runs. He'll be chasing by Mananta Hayward. And again, it's a good start to the over from Australia. Good calling from Steve Waugh. Maybe Simons at the danger end. A direct hit would have been big trouble.
Well, it was very good running from Steve Waugh. He was running to the danger end, but we've seen Mark Boucher do this before. And I think if Mark Boucher had hit the stumps, it would have been touch and go. Benefit probably going to the fielder. Yeah, he put him out a mile. Goodness me.
Andrew Simons very sluggish to get going. Eventually decides he's got to go. Boucher one-handed pick up and throw. Simons trying to get in line. Doesn't do so. He's still there. Steve Waugh gets a single down to 3rd man. Slow ball. Steve Waugh, or Andrew Simons rather, down the track. There's a field underneath it. It should be gone. It is. It's been taken. So Lance Klusener, some very, very good thinking. Andrew Simons, we know, is an aggressive player. Andrew Hall was the catcher, and he fell for the old three-card trick. It was in the air for a long time, and Hall took a very good catch.
Lovely bowling from Lance Klusener. Slower delivery. Simons looking to hit it over long off, but the slow delivery made him hit it square. Andrew Hall, no problem. Big wicket for South Africa. So Australia lose their 5th. Simons very, very disappointed, but good deception by Lance Klusener. So Simons goes for 6. Australia 107 for 5.
Sunday morning, live at 1:10 The Sharks have the home ground advantage, but the Reds are sure to put on a show. Every game, every weekend, the Amy Super 12, live on Fox Sports 2.
Star City, in conjunction with Fox Sports, gives you the chance to tip it big. All you have to do is call 1-900-966-557 and simply answer the following question. Who will win the English FA Cup? Just leave your name, address and telephone number, and the first correct answer drawn after the final will win it big. Your prize includes 2 return flights with Qantas from your nearest capital city, plus transfers to and from the airport. 2 nights staying at the Star City Casino in the luxurious executive suite. Breakfast included and strawberries and champagne on arrival. Dinner for 2 at the magnificent Piedmont restaurant. 2 VIP tickets to the musical extravaganza Carmen and $500 in chips to be spent on the main gaming floor. The winners will be announced on Fox Sports Central. So call 1-900-966-557 for your chance to tip it big with Star City and Fox Sports. This Fox Sports Golf Calendar is proudly brought to you by Hahn Premium Lights. The USPGA Tour continues with the Seniors Championship, MCI Classic, Greater Greensboro Classic and the Houston Open, while Golf Australia tees off every Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern. This Fox Sports Golf Calendar was proudly brought to you by Hahn Premium Lights.
When our brains are stimulated, certain regions within them become highly active and show up as reds on a monitor scan. Here at Discovery Channel, we make over 1,000 brand new programs every year. Fascinating thought, isn't it?
Tennis. 2 weeks of clay court action from Roland Garros with the 2nd Grand Slam event of the year. The French Open on Fox Sports in May.
So Shane Lee is the next man out. He's an aggressive player. We saw that for a brief period on Friday night at Newlands. Andrew Simons, you just get the feeling that he's exactly the sort of player Australia need to bat for some time. Plenty of work to be done here. 107 for 5, 27 overs and 5 deliveries. Shane Lee, 26 years of age, playing his 41st game. Average of under 18. Indication of his aggression, 5.5 runs scored per 6 balls faced. High score of only 47. Of course, he's more on the Australian side for his bowling than his batting. But he can be dangerous.
The wicket of Simons looking to hit it over. Mid-off. Mid-off's up, but he drags it a bit. Andrew Hall's underneath it. Goes very high. And he judges it very well, does Andrew Hall. And the crowd once again on their feet.
He's been superb today, Klusener. 2 for 27 now. And a very good delivery to Steve Waugh. Another single. Bit of fancy footwork to no avail. 107 for 5.
Oh, well then, what a great delivery. A magnificent delivery from Callis. He's been a bit wayward today. That was a fast Yorker right at the base of off stump, and it's lying there dead flat. What a wicket. Big breakthrough.
Well, what a good wicket for South Africa this time. Just the delivery you want. And not easy as a batter to stop Jock Callis at that pace. He gets it right at your feet. You got no price. Just late on it. It's well bowled. Well, Score now 114 for 6.
Shane Lee bowled by Callis for 2. And, well, it's brought a smile to his face. He's been a bit wayward with the ball, and he's dropped a catch. So he needed a bit of good news, and that is good news. This is the wicket again. That off-stump knocked down by a tremendous Yorker from Callis. Reminds me of the sort of shots you played when you first arrived at the crease.
That's why I only average 14.
Oh, well played. Beautiful shot. Well, that was just as wide. He's got onto that one, though. I think that perhaps tells you something about the way this guy plays. He's a bit like Pat Simcox, actually. He's not about to hang around.
No, he's not. That's a top shot. That is a really good shot. Nicely balanced. Hands following the line of the ball. Callis knows that he wasn't too far away from maybe something happening there.
Andrew Hall continuing. Straight drive, great shot. That's a wonderful shot. This Australian captain, boy, when the chips are down, he does come to the party. Lovely straight drive.
Well, as good a shot you'll see here today. Nice and straight, nicely balanced, as you say. When the chips are down, Steve Waugh seems to come to the party, and he does it against South Africa.
137 for 6. I believe if the Australians can post 200, 220, it'll be a very competitive score. Brett Lee to bowl, McGrath to bowl.
Just over the top of mid-wicket, Jacques Callis it was, and he's got himself a boundary in, Harvey. Sean Pollock quite annoyed with himself, straying towards that leg stump. And a very big boundary in this over off Pollock.
It's a fraction too full. He's come, like Haseman said, rocking onto that front foot. He's looking for that and worked it away quite beautifully. Nobody can stop that one.
Slightly overpitched. Another single, so this is turning into a good over for Australia. Sean Pollock, we know, always does a job so well at the front, but it's when he comes back that obviously the batsman can get after him a little bit. So this over already has cost 8 runs.
Another full house. Australian team sure captures the imagination of all South Africans, all around the world, I expect.
I think the series has been magnificent so far. 1-1 leading to this one. And that's it. That brings up his 50. It's his 40th 50 for Australia in the one-day international game. And what an important innings this has been so far from the Aussie skipper.
Looked like he was a little out of nick in the early stages of his innings, scoring pretty slowly, but he knew that I think it was not easy. Accustomed to the bounce, he did all that, and there he is, 50 not.
So 13 overs to go. 6 bowlers so far have been used. So a few options open to Pollock. Don't think we'll see him bowled. Got him! Mananta Hayward has got a big breakthrough here. Steve Waugh giving himself some room. A ball on middle stump, and it's knocked the middle stump out of the ground. That is a very, very important wicket for South Africa.
Here's a look at that wicket. Steve Waugh gives himself room. The dead straight delivery. Huge damage done to the Australians.
Leg side, he's picked it away, and he's got a boundary. That's good positioning from Ian Harvey. There were 2 men back, one at fine leg, one behind square. Couldn't stop it. 155 for 7. Shane Warne's decided to have a go at that, and he's hacked that very well indeed. 6 runs. That's a very good stroke from Shane Warne. And Mackay and Tooney's figures have basically been destroyed with that one blow. Australia 166 for 7. So, very good blow from Shane Warne. The last ball of Mackay and Tooney's 9th over. Wasn't all that short. He picked it up beautifully and dispatched it in the stands.
In the air, and wide, and wide. Well, the slipper's purposely placed himself wide. hoping that they'll be able to pick one up wide there, and Callis diving to his left. It was far too wide for the wicketkeeper Boucher. Another opportunity goes begging. The end of the over, and the score 176 for 7. They're probably very conscious that new batsmen now, anything could happen. So currently they'll, if they keep going at this rate, they'll score 205. If they manage to lift it to just over the current rate, up by 2, currently it's 4.1, they'll get to 218. They'll be very happy with that, I'm sure. Over the top, but not off the middle. A little lucky.
Yeah, a little lucky, but it's that time of the innings where you've got to take risks. And Shane Warne plays the odd cross-batted shot. That one, the toe of the bat, unfortunately for him, but safe enough. Yeah, and Australia in that position where they know, another wicket and it's a tail ender, so they've got to mix some defence with a few risk shots.
Well, that's a very good shot. Whipped away on the onside. That's 4. I mentioned a little while ago, both these batsmen love it relatively straighten up, and it's boundaries like this that could make the difference in this match.
Yeah, and Lance Klusener this over just bowling a couple of loose deliveries, full toss there. And I don't think it's really at this stage to try and bowl block hole balls, because they must sense that these two batsmen can't take too many risks. So length balls are okay at this stage. It's when the slog's really on that Yorker length comes in.
Straight down the ground, in the air, but well fielded at mid-off. Yes, well, Harvey's playing a little gem of an innings here. He's got 30 or 31. That's the end of the over, and the score now 184 for 7.
Six overs to go, 184 for 7. Harvey, 30 and 31 deliveries, been a superb innings, and Shane Warne, he's come to the party as well. Played a few unorthodox shots, but that's the way he plays. He does it very effectively.
Oh, that's gone away very fine. Hayward, will he get there? Oh, no, he won't. Those are valuable runs. Very, very valuable. Just a bit too straight.
50 partnership, and a very valuable partnership indeed for Australia. These two came to their crease with Australia reeling just a fraction, 149 for 7. They've now taken it to 200.
This partnership really is taking on some very valuable proportions. Well bowled, slower ball. Very good slower ball, and that's the hard one. If it's bowled well, very hard to adjust. If you're starting to wind up to smash it, which he was there, and it doesn't quite arrive, you've got to be very good to make something of it. He's going to have to be very careful he doesn't bowl any wides and no balls.
Bowled to a piece of those.
Straight to Jonty. No run. Right, it's on now. They'll be trying to smash him to every corner of the ground. Just looking at the field they've placed from our commentary box high up here in the stand behind the bowler's arm. Mid-wicket is one area. Mid-off is another. Straight over his head or mid-off. I think that's probably the safest shot. Hit straight down the ground, as hard and as flat as you possibly can. If you start giving it a bit of room to target the offside, that's good bowling.
Yeah, it is good bowling, and just sometimes you just try and force the issue at latter stages, and Harvey did that here. Just giving himself too much room, and, well, almost couldn't reach it, but wasn't too far away from off stump. Just gave himself too much room. Very important last couple of overs. These are.
2-dot ball so far.
Bottom! Stumps all over the place. Beautiful delivery from Callis. Well, if you want to bowl the last over, you're probably going to be told by your captain to bowl it up and straight. That was up and straight, and the woodwork has been disturbed.
Jacques Callis comes to the fore when it counts. These were the important couple of overs. He had bowled 2 good balls. Harvey gives himself room again, and it's the leg stump Yorker. The leg stump goes flying. What a sight for a bowler. particularly in this circumstances. The crowd, they're on their feet again. Harvey goes for 38. 2:01 for 8.
Yeah, good performance by Harvey. He scored at the runner ball for most of his innings, ended up with 38 or 45 balls. Last over of the innings. Shane Warne over the top. Is he? Oh, just over the top. Back for the second. Is this going to reach the boundary? No, it won't. They'll end up settling for 2. Right, well, I reckon that Shane Warne will be trying to keep the strike. He'll be going for big shots all around the place. Oh, he's hit that one high, straight down the ground. This is going to be out caught. Caught it long on. Yes, that's the end of Shane Warne. Actually, he hit it pretty well. Nicky Boyer, coming around from his position at widest deep long on, has taken the catch. That's the end of Shane Warne. A really good contribution in the circumstances. At least they got almost to the end of the allocated number of overs. So there are the partnerships. Nothing to really write home about. That 8th wicket partnership, a record on this ground, 52. And the 4th wicket there between Bevan and Steve Waugh, 45. That was the one that was really dangerous. 4 for 37, the best bowling figures for South Africa. We'll be back after the break for what looks like being a great game of cricket.
Tonight on the late edition Fox Sports News, Newcastle's Andrew
1,600 runs, averaging over 40 and scoring 4.2 per 6 deliveries faced. That is a top quality pedigree.
Certainly is, Procky, and a very important role to play here as well. If he gets away and scores well today, if he makes 50 and he gets a bit of support at the top end, then I think South Africa will win this match. On the other hand, if McGrath and co manage to get rid of him, then I think there's a good chance that the Australians will win. So there's nothing in it, I don't think. Interesting that Andrew Hall is down the other end as opposed to Herschel Gibbs. So a slight change in the batting order. Glenn McGrath ready to go. 2 slips and a gully in position. 3rd man and fine leg. Here we go. Just watch this line right from the word go. He'll be bang on target. There we are. First ball right there. He'll make them play at absolutely everything.
Yeah, good contest this. Glenn McGrath, and how well he's bowled over the years, not just his last 2 one-day internationals we've seen at Kingsmead and at Newlands, but his career, 178 wickets, at averaging 23 at runs per over 4. Well, they certainly don't come much better than that, and he's proved that on this tour, bowled quite superbly. And one of the interesting things with having Andrew Hall opening the batting, maybe they just thought with a guy like Glenn McGrath around, they might have stuck to Herschel Gibbs.
Oh, a bouncy ball there. That's hit him on the gloves. Now, that gives you some idea of the inconsistent bounce on this pitch. Now, you get a ball like that, it can really create a bit of doubt in your mind. It wasn't that short, was it?
No, it certainly wasn't. Gary Kirsten plays a little bit low, but on that time, it was a pretty normal sort of shot. He didn't play on the low side, and it thumped into his gloves. And that is where Glenn McGrath is such a good bowler. We saw it in Cape Town. He extracts any movement, any lift out of the wicket that other players can't do.
Well bowled again, good line, and nicely played by Kirsten, just getting it straight back down the pitch. It looks as if he's really got a bit of a problem with that hand of his. Very often players like Kirsten, who don't show much in terms of emotion, they get hit, they don't show anything. Very often they get back to the dressing room and found they've got a crack. That really did thunder into his gloves. You know, often see the batsman just managing to get his hand off the handle, but that went straight in. It surprised him. Oh, beautiful ball, beautiful delivery, bang on target.
Well, what about this start by Glenn McGrath? We've discussed over the period of these 2 matches what a great bowler he is. He's bowled 4 balls. Look at that. That's the 4th one. And look at the bounce. Look where Gilchrist took that. His length, his line. Goodness me. Gary Kirsten's looking and saying, well, how do you play that?
Yes, well, having watched that, he's going to have his work cut out, Kirsten, although he never gets fussed by playing and missing. Starts all over again. May well be that the sort of players that could win the match for South Africa here are going to be the Gibbses, those sorts of blokes, the guys who come out there and have a big day. Gibbs comes out, plays it around. Maybe it's that sort of pitch.
Well, that's why I think South Africans opted to open with Andrew Hall. He does play well. He's an attacking player. He's not scared to play his shots. He's had a tremendous record this season with Gauteng. And I think South Africa taking their chances with him. He deserves to be in the side. He's done really well. And if he could just get cracking for 8 or 10 overs, it could really set the South African innings in motion.
Oh, what an over. What an over. He's beaten the outside edge twice. He's hit his gloves once, and he's ended up bowling a maiden. South Africa, none for none. There's Warne, Mark Waugh, and Shane Lee in the slips. In the air, dropped him. Very difficult one. It was very close to the ground, so that justifies that decision. Shane Lee, I think, got a finger on that one. It might be wrong. It may not quite have got to him, but it just looked to me if it was a chance. Let's have another look.
Toe of the bat, so it was going down. Couldn't really tell from that angle. But Andrew Hall very late on this. Well, it was about Yorker length, for want of a bit of expression. So a very, very difficult chance. He just got the fingertips to it, judging by his reaction there.
I think it would have been a great catch if held Lee to Kirsten. Oh, and, well, now then, I think that might have been thigh pad. The umpire, let's keep an eye on him. Yeah, leg by signalled. Boy, but didn't it fly? It was almost fast enough to think it was off the bat.
Yeah, this is rapid pace, really. This is top quality fast bowling. I haven't seen this for a long time. Just look at this. Swings in, hits him on the pad, and flies to first slip. I mean, normally when the ball hits the pad or the thigh, it'll just bobble to slip or go very slowly. But this hits the thigh pad, the back thigh, and still flies off there all the way to first slip. Who palms it down. Not that it mattered. It did in terms of runs, though.
Yes, Kirsten's got to be very careful he's not bowled off his pads. He's playing from leg stump, the ball swinging back into his pads, and if the ball deflects off his pads, it could well deflect onto the stumps. Shane Warne at first slip. Dead straight, bit of swing there for Shane Lee. It's one of the things that Steve Waugh likes about him. Steve Waugh enjoying very much captaining this team, and the thing that he's enjoying more than anything is being able to guide the likes of Brett Lee, who is from Bankstown, the same neck of the woods as Steve Waugh emanates from.
Another quick swinging delivery. Well, it's always in cricketers' minds, and whenever they're chasing smallish totals, is to try and play positive, sometimes even more positive than normal. But the way these two have bowled, they've had no chance of doing anything. Survival, the name of the game.
And actually, Hall looking pretty good, actually. I think he looks quite organised out there at the moment, staying in the right position with his feet and watching the outswinger.
Yeah, he's done well. There's all that. And look at that, 156. Now, that must be the second quickest of all time.
That's the fastest delivery ever recorded in modern times. 155.8 was it. That delivery as fast as ever been bowled. That was very quick.
And Hall played it very well indeed.
Yes, the previous quickest ball recorded was that bowled by Shoaib Akhtar. He bowled a delivery at 155.8, and that was in Sharjah. So it's gone to 156 now, and these figures will be talked about all over the world, I can tell you. So get ready, whoever's facing Shoaib Akhtar next.
Look out.
That's a magnificent delivery. Kirsten stumps the line all over the place. Well, I've got to say that he looked a little bit suspect out there, Kirsten, today. The ball swinging back at him. He's been lucky to survive this far, but what a delivery. High pace swing and a magnificent bit of bowling.
Fast bowling at its best. Overpitched, it's a full toss, but Kirsten late on it, gets the inside edge, onto the off stump, middle stump goes flying, and goodness me, are we having an exhibition of quality fast bowling. Kirsten gone for one, South Africa 9 for 1.
So Gibbs on strike, lovely straight backward defensive, right into line and behind that one. Yes, I think it's very important now. I mentioned just a little while ago that it may be that today will, from South Africa's point of view, will depend on the shot makers. I think if you keep playing down the line and you're one of those accumulators on a pitch like this one, it really is a question of time before you eventually nick one, and you haven't scored too many, whereas Gibbs and Hall together now both like hitting it. It might be the key here. Oh, and that's just missed the stumps. That's 4. Boy, was that close to leg stump. Glenn McGrath can't believe it. He's got the old teapot stance going, which is the sort of stance one comes to recognise when he's not too happy. What a good delivery. That one nipped back a little bit.
Yeah, and Gibbs' feet nowhere. He just played from the crease. Played slightly across the line, really. He's just a bit out of touch as Herschel Gibbs. He's got to get those feet moving. Look, he just stands inside edge, past the leg stump. But he'll take it. 4.
He'll take it all right. So Gibbs on 4, Hall on 10, Kirsten out for 1. 19 for 1, South Africa. So McGrath just following through, glaring at Gibbs. That won't bother him too much, I shouldn't think, but it'll help McGrath get a little off his chest.
Yeah, just no footwork. That's what happens when you're out of nick. You lose that confidence. You're not sure whether to go forward, whether to go back.
Oh, that's out. That's RBW. Yes, he's given him. That one nipped back. You cannot shoulder arms to Glenn McGrath when the ball is pitched close to that off stump. He has this ability to bring it back, and, well, that's out. Gibbs, unfortunately, and it can happen early on, sometimes misread the length. Have another look.
Stone dead. That's going to hit, it's going to hit middle and leg, not even off stump or middle and off. That's middle and leg. It came back. And umpire Cyril Mitchley, yeah, no chance at all. Ben McGrath has a few words to Herschel Gibbs. He departs for 4. South Africa struggling. 19 for 2.
Gone over the top. There might have been a hand to it. And Callis is going to come back for the second.
I don't think South Africa at this point in time would be overly worried about that rate required going up. It's now 4.6. The Wanderers 5.5, 6 is pretty gettable. Just to have wickets in hand for death. It's going to be the key here. Not to lose wickets at the wrong time. Not easy against Australia.
That's a bit of a loose one, and Andrew Hall has taken full toll of that. That's a very good shot. It was short and wide, but you still got to put it away. Hall's done it. 36 for 2.
Well, it would have been nice in the backyard of the league. Oh, he's missed it down there. He's missed it. I was just talking about the high standards the outfielders have set, and Harvey's run straight over the top of one. Well, you don't often see that when Australia and South Africa are playing. This is bad news.
Well, believe me, this is one of the best outfields in the world. You'll be very hard-pressed to find a bobble here. No bobble. He just missed the thing completely.
Callis on 5. The man responsible for this largely is Hall, 25. Oh, good shot. Straight over the top, way down the ground. One bounce for 4. Andrew Hall is having a good day. He made a very good catch in the deep. He didn't disgrace himself with the ball, and now he's making a name for himself with the bat.
Well, Andrew Hall is known for this in the local leagues. He loves bashing it around. I just thought the moment might be too big for him, and of course the firepower too. But the slower ball gets spotted early, and bingo, go and fetch that, Mr. Lee.
And 29. He's got to make sure he picks the right ball. Inside off stump again. Yes, he becomes very important now, doesn't he? Because he's the man in. 29 of the 50 runs scored. Kirsten out for 1, Gibbs out for 4, Callis out there on 6, so no one else really has had much time. He's the one. And that'll be playing on his mind a bit. On the one hand, he'll want to play his normal game. And so those two men there in quite close. They'll be trying to get over their heads if what Garth LaRue says is correct. Out of the ground, he said. Well, that's well played. This could be 4. It's going across this outfield very fast. Yes, it's 4. That's a lovely shot. Just a little bit too straight. He just helped that one on its way. It looks now as if the drinks are coming out onto the ground with the score at 54 for 2. And it'll be a very relieved Hall, who's played this one away to the boundary, who's managed to get 33 on the board and has been largely responsible for the 54 runs that have been scored by this team so far. So there's the desperate effort to try and drag that one back. Not quite good enough. And that's the scorecard. 54 for 2. Now, Callis is on strike. He's faced a lot of Warne. I shouldn't think Hall's faced much of him at all.
The big question now will be, how does Hall cope with this man he's never seen? He's made many around the world look very foolish on occasions.
A little bit of spin there for Warne. But I can tell you right now that having seen that first ball, he's not going to be easy to handle.
Yes, you spotted it, Tony. It pitched and it landed. And when he does that, he's about as difficult as it can get to play and to score off.
Oh, good shot. Great shot. Callis. He's decided that, well, he's going to have to take an initiative here. He went down the wicket, and that was a beautifully driven and perfectly good delivery, but beautifully played.
Yes, that's a length ball. He used the feet. He saw the first one spin, so it took great courage to come down the wicket here. Makes his mind up properly, does it properly, and then, of course, places it.
Oh, he's hit that one straight down the ground, bouncing away for 4. 2 balls, 2 fours. Callis has decided it's you or me, mate.
Well, it's early days, Tony, but he's paying scant respect to your first remark. Saw the first one spin, so did he. Let's hit him off his length.
Well, I think he probably is respecting my first remark because he realises the dangers. He's got to make sure he dominates him. Now, Midoff's been sent back. So he's out on the boundary. There we go again. Nicely driven away, beautifully driven away. Will this get to the boundary? Yes! 3 fours in a row, 12 or 3 balls. Great batting by Callis. This is a wonderful exhibition of taking the initiative. That's what most big-time sport is about. If you can take the initiative at the right time, you win matches for your team.
Well, listen to that crowd come alive. They've stood as one here after this third 100 for 4. Don't they love this? High drama and superb batsmanship.
Right, they've got a short extra cover in now, and another fieldsman on the offside. Midoff stays back. Adjusting with a spin there. This won't affect Warne, rest assured. Rest assured.
Well, a lesser man might have dropped one short to bowled a full bunger, but Shane Warne back on a length, well bowled. Sheer class too.
And for those of you who've just joined the telecast, in a moment we're going to show you the wickets that have fallen so far. These are they. Kirsten was out bowled, clean bowled by Lee. A beautiful delivery, slightly over pitched but high pace, and it was swinging. Swung back into the left-hander. That was the end of Kirsten.
Yeah, it was a full bunger. He did nothing on off all day. And that's the other Nick.
Yes, that one's gone to the boundary for 4. That was outside off stump, and well, Callis going after it. That was an edge, and had there been a second slip, he may well have been caught there. That is a wide ball and almost exactly where second slip would have been. So Callis has decided the way to go here is to be aggressive. He's on 23 alongside Hall. Incredible cricket we're seeing. Through the gap for 4. Slower ball, brilliantly driven away by Callis. Well, this could end up being a little gem of an half century as well. He's come in, he's been confronted with Shane Warne, he's hit him for 3 consecutive fours, and now down the other end, one streaky nick past first slip and then a beautiful cover drive, one that we've seen so often from this man.
Well, it's that slow ball, not often spotted. More runs.
If you look for 2 here, back he comes, in comes the throw. It was too slow, there was a pause down there. A definite pause down there, and well, the Australians now beginning to feel the pressure as well. South Africa taking it to them.
Good flat hard throw, but comfortably home.
Over the top, 4. Well played, young man. Andrew Hall has hit Shane Warne straight over the top of mid-off for 4.
Well, that's what I said to you. If he gets half a chance to give it a slog, he will. He's that sort of character. He's impish, and he's got an attitude. You need that in this league. Yes, it's more than just a little full as the Wanderers today. I've heard they've squeezed an extra 1,000 people somehow, standing in the aisles, I expect. Will 205 be enough? I wonder.
At the moment it won't. That's beautifully played. Off the back foot, it's running away down towards the boundary. That'll be 4 as well. This is a fast outfield. This is turning out to be a superb partnership. They're hitting 4s to every corner of the ground. The Australian captain will have his thinking cap on now, and I suspect that very shortly he's going to have to go back to Glenn McGrath. They've got to, the Australians that is, have got to try and break this partnership. Nicky Bowyer and Jonty Rhodes due to come in next, then Boucher. But at the moment, these two looking very comfortable indeed. Callis from the word go, and Hall has worked really hard and played some tremendous shots. So Steve Waugh, you can see, it's all turning around inside that head of his.
I must admit, now bowling for the South Africans. 4 for 37 for Pollock. What a performer he is.
Slower ball, they're picking him no trouble at all. Hall seems to have no trouble with those slow ones. He'll come back to the 3, may even be 4. Great fielding on the boundary. Damien Martin, the fieldsman. Right, so this very absorbing battle is now going to continue. Hall, having hit Shane Warne over mid-off, has resorted to slightly different, almost exactly the same field as that used for Callis. In the air, that's him, out, straight to extra cover. Well, Shane Warne has struck. That was a big mistake. That was a big mistake. There was no need for him to drive away. Having said that, if that's the way he plays, that's the way he should continue playing. This young man should be very proud of this innings he's played. He's had experienced cricketers around him. Andrew Hall, in his comeback innings, has ended up making 46. However, his holdout to Shane Warne at extra cover, a blow for South Africa, but don't forget his contribution. Wonderful performance, 91 for 3.
I just felt Gerald Andrew Hall had done all the hard work, spread the field. Mental error, but he did a great job. Jonty now.
Silly point in place. Or down the wicket he goes. This is a good field placement for Jonty Rhodes. He likes to skip down the pitch and throw his front pad at the ball, and this is good thinking. That's the shot again, wasn't quite to the pitch of it, and well, straight to extra cover. Simon's taking the catch.
Look at the Manhattan graph. Well, it was interesting reading. Up until the 12th over, 2 wickets had fallen. Only the one big over of 10 runs, that was the 7th. Then it slowed down again, and then when Warne was introduced, some big overs for South Africa. There's an outside edge and he's gone. It's a very good catch by Mark Waugh. He has got a great pair of hands So Brett Lee has been brought back into the attack, and he is struck straight away.
Good captaincy by Steve Waugh. Jacques Kallis, a danger man. Big danger man for Australia, Jacques Kallis. He had played so well, composed, good defence, good aggression. But this time just playing a bit of a loose shot at a good length ball, going away from him. Lee delighted. He's bowled so well and he's pumped up, as everyone here at the Wanderers is. This is some sort of contest. So Jacques Kallis, after a very well played 30, he departs. Well caught by Mark Ward, slip off Brett Lee, and South Africa now even Stevens again. As we look at the edge, Jacques Kallis, it was flying to Mark Ward. It was a bit of a loose shot, not there for the drive, but the quality of the bowling, you've got to give credit to the bowler.
Certainly enjoys the celebrations, does Brett Lee. And his first wicket today, I think I saw the best celebration I've ever seen from a bowler. That's very close. Gone. Cyril Mitchley sticks the finger up. Nicky Boyer doesn't get off the mark, and Brett Lee has done some serious damage here for Australia. Not only is it a maiden, but it's also 2 wickets. 91 for 4. Correction, 91 for 5.
Well, that ball pitches on, straightens into Nicky Boyer, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. That would have hit the stumps. It pitched on line, and umpire Cyril Mitchley says you're on your way. So Nicky Boyer, I'm afraid, did not trouble the scorers.
It'll be interesting to see if they use Simons today. Actually, I suspect they might try him. They might have to bring him into the attack for a few, depending on how this goes, actually, because Lee now is back into the attack. Full toss straight away, and will it go through the field? It's gone through the field for 4, so that's not a good start for Shane Lee. This game is all about confidence, and if you produce a full toss first up and it's hit for 4, that creates a bit of worry.
I'm sure it's a bit of worry for the captain, because he had gone for 17 in 2, and in the first delivery of his third, things are not going kosher, and we all know it's a game of mental strength. This Steve Waugh is going as far as saying 90% mental strength and 10% ability at this level. Another one.
Is it there? That's 4. That's 4. That's very well played. Shane Lee standing there looking as if it was unlucky. Well, it was a tremendous shot as a full toss, and it deserved exactly what it got. And actually Steve Waugh has gone to loosen up now, and he's asked the mid-off to go across and have a talk to him.
Without a doubt, 4 full deliveries in a row, 2 full tosses, nearly 3 full tosses, to be honest. He's obviously not aiming at the same place. He's probably trying to bowl Yorkers now to try and keep the runs down. And with a field like that, I don't think you can afford to bowl there. Not with his pace.
I think he's doing what you suggested was a bit dangerous before. He's over-attacking. That's more like a Yorker, so it's right up there. This little fella's a good player, though. Boucher now on 20 extremely valuable runs at a very important time.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, a while back in South Africa, it was talked about another guy, Proteas, that could have played in his place. That's a wonderful player. And he just came back and he made runs like you cannot believe. And the way he's adapted, you know, you get players, it takes a good 5, 6, 7 years of evolution to make them good. And some people overnight.
Right down the ground, well fielded.
They better the game overnight, and this is exactly what he's done. When the paper started talking about another player, he's gone out there, he's just bettered his bowling, his batting and keeping and everything that goes with it, and I believe he's working a lot on fitness too, which you don't find too many keepers put a lot of emphasis on. So it's wonderful to see that.
Yes, the bowling figures, there they are. Have a look at Shane Lee. 2.5 overs, 26 conceded, and that's flicked a fine leg. They're playing with him at the moment. Well, certainly Boucher is. Another single, and well, I don't know that he'll get another one. It's 121 for 5. Yes, it's a game of pressure, and those that handle it best, more often than not, are the people that come through it. Now, you can see the situation at the moment. Warren getting very keen to get a wicket. He's got one, but after this he's only got 1 over. He'll know how important it is to get another one.
We're actually seeing a battle here between 3 wonderful players. Boucher,
Oh, well played. Oh, he's in it straight to mid-on. That's a disaster. Shane Warne has done exactly what he wanted to do. He's kept the pressure on Jonty Rhodes. All his experience, all those good things about his temperament. In that situation, in the bull ring here in Joburg, he's lofted one up to mid-on. Please explain, Farney.
I'm telling you, it's amazing what happens when runs are not scored. And again, especially against Shane Warne. Now, I wonder if it was really necessary to take him on, rather wait for Shane Lee on the other side.
Oh, the sun's shining, the lights are on. In the air, oh, fingertips, ball. That was a pretty good effort, actually. And the ball was in the air for a while. Warne went a long way. I think he may have got a fingertip to it, maybe not.
Well, I must admit, the previous ball that also went past him there, he was a bit slow. That one he got much closer to. And it could have been so close. Such a fine line between success and failure. At this stage of the game, shots are going to be played. Got to be on your toes, and that's where fitness comes in.
Steve Waugh has asked his twin brother, Mark Waugh, to have a trundle. Runs per over isn't bad for an off-spinner. Just on 4.8. Best return is pretty impressive. Oh, well, that's a bit of a free hit. He's got that away very fine indeed. Lots of work for Michael Bevan. He's very quick across the grass. His arm is not as strong as it used to be. And importantly, South Africa pick up 3 runs off the first ball of the over.
Yes, he does cover the turf pretty quickly. Dreadful delivery.
Put it down. He hit it very sweetly, it must be said, straight at Shane Lee. And he couldn't grab it. Into the over, 142 for 6.
Yes, Mark Boucher's heart would have gone straight into his throat there. He's done such a lot of hard work.
61 runs to get, 72 balls to be bowled, 5.1 runs the over South Africa require from here. And only 4 wickets in hand. Shane Lee starting his 7th over. Clubbed that, Lance Klusner, through extra cover. It's not totally out of the screws. There's a big chase for the sweeper on the offside. And they come back for 2.
Yes, this is what Lance Klusner just loves. Width at around 130 kilometers an hour. He's devastating on that stuff.
It's in the air and it's over the top of mid-on. Couple of bounces and over the rope. Wow, that's an important blow for Klusner. He needs 1 or 2 of those to really click into gear. I think he fancies Shane Lee.
Fox Sports takes you live to the USA every week for direct coverage of the Major League Baseball. The Arizona Diamondbacks host the Colorado Rockies at the awesome Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix. Fox Sports takes you there. Live and exclusive. Arizona and Colorado, Friday morning, 11:30. Fox Sports.
Another Fox Sports snapshot taken by Inside Sport.
The whole bloody house.
You name it, I'll try it.
I don't have sex yet. I'm still living at home.
Oh God, once you've been married as long as I have, just anywhere's good.
Any? All of them.
Is there a bad room?
Bedroom followed by the bathroom.
Any room?
I don't know, just the bedroom, any bedroom.
Oh, your kitchen. Yeah, kitchen's got to be the best room in that section. You got all kinds of trinkets and toys and stuff like that laying around.
This Fox Sports snapshot was taken by Inside Sport.
This weekend on Fox Sports, the Superbikes are back to tear up the track. Full race coverage including qualifying and Super Pole from Phillip Island, exclusively live. The English Premier League continues with Everton and Liverpool, plus Manchester United take on Chelsea. Live and exclusive. The Sydney Roosters host the Sharks in round 12 of the NRL. Catch all the action on Fox Sports Central live. And we keep you updated with all the latest from home and abroad on Fox Sports News. This weekend on Fox Sports.
Tension massive. Simon's the 8th bowler to be used by Steve Waugh.
Let's have a look at the top there. 3 overs to come from McGrath, 2 from Brett Lee. So there's 5 that are going to be bowled by frontline bowlers. Bevan continuing. The pressure builds as the runs and balls, the gap closes. And as we get closer to the last overs. Now, Klusner, I wonder if his mind has wandered back at all.
No, steady on.
Just beats mid-wicket. Yes, I reckon if Klusner's out there during the last over, there's no way it's going to go to the end of the over. One way or the other, it will be over before the last ball is bowled. That one's flicked away in the air, but desperate stuff. Look at Steve Waugh driving across that surface. What an innings Dutch has played. Undefeated on 39 of 75 balls. Klusner cutting away on the offside. It's running away to the boundary. That'll be 4. It's a great shot. That relieves the pressure. That's the interesting thing about Lance Klusner. He doesn't seem to hit it very hard, but the fieldsmen on the boundary always struggle to get there.
Much needed boundary for South Africa. It's short, it's wide, and Klusner just waits his time. He bides it, plays it nice and late. And it went quickly to the boundary.
Bad delivery. Well, I suppose if you bowl back of the hand deliveries, wrist spinners, every now and again you're going to bowl a shortish one. Quicker ball, oh, big appeal there for LBW, and they're all up. Or was it for caught behind? Well, unbelievable. They can't believe it, the Australians. Now then, let's have a look at this replay. Klusner having a look up at the big board. That's hit him on the back leg. Was it missing leg stump? I think it probably was. Just missing leg.
Did he get a bat on it? Did he get a bat on it? No, it hit him on the back leg. You can see all the stumps. And that, I say, was a good decision. I suggest that might have missed leg stump.
So I want to see that straight down the line again. That was my first feeling was the quicker ball perhaps was just going to go down the leg side. This won't tell us too much. It'll tell you that it hit him on the back pad, and but this is the one. This is the one that'll tell us. Look at the line of leg stump here. There it pitches. Ooh, Procky, I'm afraid if we can freeze that ball on the pad, that's going to tell the story. However, there's no point in dwelling on it. He's been given in. South Africa 164 for 6.
Yeah, interesting decision this. Pitches. Hits him. Well, that's in the line of middle and leg. Did it carry on straight the angle going down leg, or did it just hold its line?
Right, so it's Simons again. And trying to stop that one there. Simons not all that happy with Klusner, who stood his ground, which he's perfectly entitled to do. Right, we can have another look at the mat on the pitch, and we've got to try and freeze frame the ball as it hits the pad. That'll tell the story. You've got to remember where the ball pitches, and you've got to really use your imagination as to where it would have gone. That's the hard part, and you've got to put yourself in the position of the umpire as well. If you're not certain, you've got to give the batsman the benefit of the doubt. That's short. He's pulled that one away. That's going to go. It's going to go. Yes, into the boundary for 4. Into the fence for 4. Short delivery.
And this Wanderers crowd are on their feet again. That man, Lance Klusner, he's done it so many times for South Africa. The bad balls, they go for 4 or 6. This time 4.
Yeah, good shot. Very good shot. Round the wicket, through the go, that's 4-2. That's 4-2. A little short outside off stump. He's bowling it a little bit too fast. The whole idea of bowling these off spinners is to bowl them nice and slowly and to make the batsman do the work. That was just off the face of the bat, run away with the speed for 4.
Very well controlled shot. And once again, the Wanderers crowd are up. The 50 partnership between these two, how well they've played. What an important partnership for South Africa. Came together when Rhodes went out with a score 122. They've taken it now to 173.
Yes, they've certainly both played very important roles here. Boucher 40, Klusner 31. Back over the wicket to Klusner. That's better, a little slower. Ooh, and that one stays down a bit. Klusner. Well, he's had a few close calls, that's for sure.
Klusner 31, Boucher non-striker 40. Good ball, block hole. That's the end of the over, and he wasn't impressed with that one. No, it's not. I, for some reason, thought the umpire would call over. We're all getting excited here.
Up on leg stump, well fielded. The end of the over, he got out of it quite well at the end of the day. 173 for 6. Well, have a look at the furrows on the brows of all and sundry. The all-important decision there that got everyone's attention was the mat and the ball. Right, so there's the situation. We're getting near to the 50 overs.
That Manhattan, it really is a peculiar one. Lots of high rises and lots of low ones. It's been interesting, but just towards the latter stages from over 35. Since then, it's been pretty even with a couple of biggies.
Yes, well, you can see that white dot there, and well, it's been a while since another wicket's fallen, hence that situation. Now then, let's get back to that LBW. This will be talked about far and wide. Now, see if we can freeze this. Just watch this ball. Pitches on around about off stump and hits the pad. Just got to take it back a little bit. There's where it hits the pad. I've got to say to you, Brocky, that would probably have hit middle and leg stump. However,
I thought it would have missed leg stump.
Yeah, no, well, that doesn't surprise me at all. But I really...
So did the umpire. He's the one that counts.
No, I think he gave him the benefit of the doubt. And I think that's fair enough. It's a very important decision, and if you're not sure, Steve Waugh actually having a discussion with the umpires out there at the moment, and I think it's to do with the ball, which is looking pretty grey at the moment.
Well, we were on the air when the Australian batsman wanted the ball changed, and we said we hope the same thing applies when South Africa bat, because there's nothing wrong with the ball as far as colour is concerned, but the ball gets soft, it's harder to hit. And it's the same situation as when Australia batted, and the same situation applies now, so Steve Waugh cannot complain.
Yes, we are assuming that he's complaining. I think that two things occurred. They tried to change the ball quite a long time ago when it was out of shape. That was refused. It may not be they're talking about the ball. Maybe he's talking to umpire Kutzman about the last LBW shout. Maybe he's just having a friendly word with him out there, but he did throw his hands up a little bit. Mind you, in situations like this, how can you blame a captain of any side for getting a little bit tense?
No, I agree with that. And I must say, Greggy, I agree with your sentiments about Steve Waugh. I've been very, very impressed the way he has captained the Australian side. He's prepared to take chances. He's prepared to back his team.
and even he's had to make some tough decisions, and most of the time it works. So more tension now as the ball has changed, the crowd getting excited. What a game.
Yes, well, they need to score 4.7 runs and over, so you've just got to bear that in mind. Anything like a run of ball, it looks a nice white one, that one. I suppose the fast bowlers are hoping it's nice and hard as well, because one has to remember that if this ball is a little harder, with McGrath still 3 overs to go, Brett Lee, it looks as if he's getting ready to bowl now, 2 overs to go. It might just be a little bit each way here, a little easier to see on the part of the batsman, a little harder for the bowlers.
Yeah, and again, this is an interesting decision by Steve Waugh. McGrath's got 3 left, Lee's got 2. That's 5. There's 7 overs to go, so he hasn't kept Lee till the end. He's brought him back now, which is very interesting. He wants the wicket now, Steve Waugh. If South Africa can see through this over or 2 from Lee, I would suggest maybe he'll just have 1. See if he can blast another wicket out. And my goodness, have we been privileged to see some of the all-time great fast bowling here by this young man. He really has set the Wanderers alight. Blitzkrieg, really quick. And South Africa have been on the receiving end, but it's been a privilege to watch.
Yes, well, the tradition continues. That's one thing we do know. These two sides are playing great cricket. If you had to choose to watch cricket, watch one-day cricket these days, you'd say, I want to watch South Africa versus Australia. They've had some of the most incredible matches. Righto, Brett Lee with a slip in place. On his way in now to bowl to Boucher. No one at mid-on. There's a bit of room for him down there, mid-on and mid-wicket, and he quite likes that mid-wicket area.
Yeah, if you're talking about these two teams, Greggy, you look at the World Cup, that great win by Australia at Leeds in a very high-scoring game. Then the tied match in the semi-final of the World Cup. South Africa winning in Durban, Australia winning in Cape Town. And matches of high quality, and I don't think I've seen much better quality than this game today. It's been high drama, action-packed, great crowd. What a way to end the season.
Well, that's a breakdown of Brett Lee. A couple of wickets in 1 over. Then he comes again. Flicked away, that's 4. Flicked away off his legs for 4. Do not bowl on Mark Boucher's legs. Golden rule number 1.
Glorious shot. Look at that crowd. What a picture. And Mark Boucher, he's done it so often for South Africa. He moves to 44. Beautiful timing. It's the pace of Lee. He just rolled the wrists. And he bisected the man backward square. But look at that. Lovely shot.
Right, 44 to Mark Boucher, 31 to Klusner. South Africa edging towards victory here. They've moved into prime position. Brett Lee to Boucher, uppishly played on the offside. That's a better line. And he'll know it as well. He's got a bowl off stump and just outside.
And South Africa have got a milestone, really. It's under 30 they need now. 29 more runs. 4 wickets in hand. Mark Boucher. Shots all around the wicket. He really is a good all-round player, Mark Boucher. But where he's so impressive, his temperament, his mind and heart. Well, they don't come too much better than Mark Boucher.
Right, don't worry about 30. South Africa's problems the last 5 or 6. Here we go. Brett Lee. Cut away on the offside. There's a sweeper back. They'll settle for 1. Lee won't mind this. He'll want to have a go at the left-handed Klusner. So I suspect he'll go around the wicket. He'll try and angle it through his defences. And he'll be bowling furiously fast, rest assured on that. And if he drops it short, well, who knows where it'll end up.
This Wanderers crowd is a buzz. And this is a contest as well. Contest within a contest. The world's fastest bowler. Bowling to the most destructive batter in world cricket. Certainly during the World Cup he was. 28 more, 38 balls, 4 wickets in hand. Brett Lee about to bowl to Lance Klusner.
Yes, I think we've seen this little scenario before. There we go. Brett Lee around the wicket, fading light. The lights are on. There's rain in the area. Few thunderstorms drifting by the Wanderers. Lee, all right up in the block hole. Very well bowled. Manages to get his back down in time.
Very well played as well. That was fast. Fast and straight. And that's the thing that this guy has been so impressive about, has Brett Lee, bowling with that pace, such tremendous pace. His control. It's just so good. He does it so easily. So one more ball left, and the crowd are up on their feet chanting Zulu, Kluzi.
Yeah, have a look at them. Round the wicket he goes. Klusener on strike. I didn't know too much about that one. It's popped away on the offside, no run. That's the end of a good over from Brett Lee. 178 for 6. So Brett Lee on his way back down towards his position on the boundary. The problem that these guys all have, of course, is that despite having to keep focused when they're bowling, they've got to be extremely focused in the field as well, because one slip-up can make the difference. Spare a thought for Pollock, Hayward and Natini. It's in matches like this that those tail-enders often wish that they'd spent a little bit more time in the nets.
And another interesting move here. Steve Waugh. Glenn McGrath coming back, so he's not relying on the latter overs, as it were. He wants a wicket now. 6 overs to go. Lee's got 1 left. McGrath has 3. So that's 4. There's 2 spare overs.
The captain of South Africa. On edge, Glenn McGrath. Oh, well bowled. So straight away on length again. Now then, so what he's trying to do here, he wants to try and just create a little bit of extra pressure, doesn't he? This is probably a last throw of the dice for Steve Waugh. If he can just slow up the run rate a little bit and force one of these two to play a bad shot.
Yeah, now, interesting. He's going to have to find 2 overs from somewhere. Now, is the fact that the ball's been changed, do you think that has some bearing on him bringing back Lee and McGrath? Because that old ball, we were talking about slowing down the pace.
Oh, and that's hit the inside edge, lucky. Just a little bit of movement back off the pitch there for Glenn McGrath. Brocky, I think that the reason he's brought him back is that he'd hate to end up in a situation where this match has been won by South Africa and he's still got overs remaining for McGrath. That's one of them, and I think the other one may have a bit to do with the fact that the ball is new. But the main one is that so often you hold these bowlers back right to the end, and you end up with a guy of this man's quality with an over or 2 up his sleeve, and you with hindsight think, I wish I'd have bowled him and taken the chance of having someone else bowl the last over.
Yep. Interesting. Klusener on strike. The crowd chanting.
Hits the pad. No run. So Glenn McGrath, just 1 run off this over so far. What Klusener's got to be a little careful of here is that he doesn't try and play across the line to McGrath too much, because he does move the ball around a bit, and a little edge now. I wonder what he's reading.
Just referring to your first statement, I thought you were going to say the one thing Lance Klusener mustn't worry about is being run out.
Now, that's in the last over. That only applies right at the end. Boy, wouldn't I love that. All that over again. Wouldn't that be lovely? A tie, another tie. Well, he's made a name for himself. Wherever you go in the world.
Yeah, if you're talking about ties, and now he goes directly behind the bowler. Well, I suppose if you're going to go behind the side screen, directly behind the stumps and behind the umpire is the best position to be, but I'm afraid he's going to have to move.
I think he's worried about the people behind him. he's walking bent down there, worrying that the people behind him can't see. There we go, McGrath. Straight back to him, well fielded.
Yeah, I think these two are saying, listen, we know we've got 2 spare overs somewhere. Let's just keep our cool here against these 2 quality bowlers. Team doctor in front.
Wonder if the team minister's in there.
I don't think so.
In the air, wide of the fieldsman fall. Slightly short, Klusner onto it in a flash, wonderful shot. Well, this is what he's so good at. Slightly short ball, he's picked it up and hit it to 4.
And everyone anticipating Lance Klusner just hanging fire while McGrath bowls. But it's a length ball, and he just says, come over. And he didn't quite middle it, but he is so strong, he's got such a good bat, that even if he half hits it, it still rattles the fence.
Tell you what, he looked, the way he picked that bat up, he looked as if he was going to have a go no matter what.
Oh, straight drive, what a wonderful shot. Lance Klusner has smashed that past Glenn McGrath for 4 in magnificent style. Well, I think Lance Klusner is back with the bat. That's the end of the over, 187 for 6.
What kind of shot is that? It was nearly a Yorker. The 5th ball went for 4 over the top. The last ball tried to be in the block hole, and he's hit that so hard. There's a long off in position, but it just flew across this beautiful outfield. Lance Klusner, he comes, well, when it counts, doesn't he ever do it? 2 great shots.
$187 for 6. All they need is around about 4 and over to win the match now. Brett Lee about to start a new over.
19 runs. That's all that's required. But this game's not over, that's for sure. Lee to Boucher.
Straight back to him.
But he loves his cricket, doesn't he? He's enjoying his moments out there. He's bowled so well. And this is a crowd catch.
19 of 29. 19 runs of 29 balls. That's what the batsmen will be thinking about. They tend to think in terms of runs and balls, and we know the television viewers around the world relate to that as well. So it's 19 runs of 29 balls. South Africa at the moment well placed to win this match. Brett Lee straight to mid-on, well fielded, beautifully fielded, still 1 though. Boy, have we seen some fielding today.
Quality cricket all round, and that was 4 runs all the way, but brilliant fielding. Mark Boucher, he took a leaf out of Lance Klusner's book. He hit this so hard.
Yes, what a partnership too. These two have played superbly. Off 81 balls, and it looks as if they too are approaching the South African record. 73. Round the wicket to Klusner. That's 4. That's 4 as well. This bloke is unbelievable. When he hits them, they stay hit.
Well, his last 3 deliveries he's faced, Lance Klusner. They've got 4 off McGrath, and now a short wide one from Lee, and he's just crashed it backward a point. Look at this. That went off the back like a rocket, and the crowd once again, they've gone berserk.
Boucher 47, Klusner 43, 14 to win off 27 balls. Lance Klusner is not going to allow this match to go to the last over.
Well, you worked that one out. Just 14 needed, 27 balls. Lance Klusner, he's on 43.
Slower delivery, much slower, and well played. He's a great competitor, isn't he? Brett Lee.
Yeah, he really has enjoyed it. He knows that the pressure's on, the tension's on out there, but he's still got a smile on his face. The slow ball, but goodness me, it's so slow. In fact, I think it's almost too slow because the batsman's actually got time enough to adjust. And Lance Klusener does adjust.
Yes, I think that's right, actually. That point's been made. It's interesting to observe that dressing room. They've obviously got rocking chairs up there, and they're rocking back slowly and backwards and forwards, looking very calm, but obviously very tense. Well fielded, brilliantly stopped, backward point.
Mark Waugh, and that had forward and over it as well. Klusener, when he's on fire, the adrenaline seems to pump, and he hits the ball so hard. He just squeezes that one out, but it flew to backward point.
Yes, he's back in business. There's no doubt about that. He had a really bad run with the bat. Got bowled out regularly early on in his innings, but Cape Town, he just looked as if he was getting it back. 1 or 2 good shots down there. And 14 more now of 25 balls, 4 wickets in hand. South Africa favourites to win this match, but stranger things have happened. To the offside, just a single. .193 for 6.
Finishes a magnificent spell of bowling. 3 for 32 and 10, but that doesn't tell the story. It's been very, very fast, hostile, and with a great attitude.
So Brett Lee has completed his 10 overs now, 3 for 32, and it's been a privilege to watch him bowl today. He's bowled fast, he's bowled straight, and he's created problems for the opposition. So he's finished his spell. He's also fielded pretty well too. What an exciting cricketer. This is the last ball of the over, full toss, and that one flayed away on the offside for 1.
So Glenn McGrath to continue. He has 2 overs left. There are 4 left in the match. So someone else is going to have to bowl the other end. South Africa require 13 for a famous victory.
Yes, we've been talking Zulu and Klusener. Don't forget Boucher. He's been the Rock of Gibraltar out there. He's on 47, down at the non-striker's end and quietly providing the launching pad for Klusener.
This partnership with 71 off just 86 deliveries. Boucher 47, and what a role he's played. Klusener 44, and what a lovely combination. They've batted in tandem, as it were. Boucher hitting the bad balls, being solid rock defensive when it was needed, and Klusener playing shots all round the wicket with great effect.
I suppose the question now is, what are they going to do down the other end? It may well be that they introduce either off spin or go back to Bevan. One way or the other, the options aren't plentiful. Harvey, Lee, Mark Waugh, Bevan, Simons. Any of them could bowl. Ken McGrath. Oh, that's beaten the fielder. That's 4 as well. Well, the incredible thing about him is that it's even his mishits that create problems for the fielders.
And he realised fine leg was up, so he took a little bit of a chance by playing a little bit across the line, but he got enough bat on it to go wide of man in the circle, and the team rise, as does the crowd. What a player. Nine more needed, 21 balls, 4 wickets in hand. Klusener, 48, 47 deliveries, so he's scoring at a run a ball. Boucher the other end, 47. He's been rock solid. What an innings he's played. Partnership was 75. They came together when Rhodes went 6 down for 1-2-2.
to get. 20 of balls to be bowled. This has been a wonderful performance by South Africa when one considers the problems that have beset this team since the start of this series. The fact that they won that match in Durban with all the problems fresh in their minds, lost in Cape Town, and they've jumped back here. Oh, it's in the air, 4. Beautifully played, into the fence for 4. There's just nothing they can do about it. South Africa are going to win this match, and they're going to win it in fine style. And, well, what an innings that's turned out to be. Klusener, 52 or 49 balls. He'll be the talk of the whole of South Africa.
Great shot, attempted bouncer, and he hits it over backward point. And this crowd, they've risen to their hero. They're still on their feet, they're still screaming.
Straight back to McGrath, and thinking about a single. McGrath fumbles, 201 for 6.
Just 5 runs required. Lance Klusener, he really has, the last 3 or 4 overs, played some unbelievable shots. He's on 52 or 50, but let's not forget Mark Boucher. What an innings he's played. Look at that acceleration. The 450 in 51 balls. Run a ball, mainly due to Boucher, and that man Klusener, he's the one that's made the acceleration. 5 runs required, and the man Steve Waugh shows it to Ian Harvey. Tony, you were talking about how this team has shown so much character, determinations after all the problems of the past week, but as much as they've done it, I think the whole of South Africa can be praised themselves as well. The crowds have been fantastic. The response, the support this team has received has been something special.
Yes, well, at the end of the day, that's correct, but they've got to do it on the middle, and I've got to say that if you'd have asked me at the beginning of the series who was going to win the match, or the series, I would have had to say that Australia, with their recent track record, would have been favourites, but they've been toppled. Oh, good shot through the offside field. Boucher, that's his half century as well, and thoroughly deserved. He's a wonderful cricketer, and he's been the Rock of Gibraltar out there. Down the other end, he has created the situation for his team, and in particular for Klusener. Boy, these 2 cricketers, they've got some talent.
On the rise, and the crowd, they still on their feet. 1 run required. What a victory.
Well fielded, 1 to win. 17 balls to go. 16 to go now. Great performance by South Africa. A wonderful game of cricket. Keenly contested series. Right from day one. Boy, we've got to see more of these 2 teams. Slower delivery, pushed away on the onside. The whole of Australia in there saving 1. This field reminiscent of the one at the end of the match in Birmingham. However, the result's not going to be the same.
I don't think it's reminiscent at all. Plenty of balls left, just 1 run required. But the fielding position here, Greg, I know what you mean. Thought I'd have a dig there.
Oh, look at the smile on the captain's face. Right, here we go. Short delivery, that's got to be close. Short delivery, try to put it away, perhaps a little bit too much bounce. I think Boucher's decided, let's get this over with.
Yeah, slow delivery, just bounces on him, hits him high up on the thigh. And very well disguised slow delivery, had Boucher playing too early.
One to get. That's it. Wonderful cover drive, a great game of cricket, a wonderful series, and the victors, the South Africans, against the odds. They have played superb cricket. Everyone knows that these South Africans are great fighters, and the Australians, well, they're gathering around the two batsmen out there at the moment, and I think every single one of them would recognise what a superb knock Klusener has played, and well, one shouldn't lose sight either of Boucher. The two of them have played wonderfully.
Test against England in